So this morning we are talking about even mystics have to pay the bills. I know. We were all hoping someday that wasn't going to happen. So right now I am reading 3 different prosperity books. I'm reading this one because I follow along with what we're doing as an organization as far as talks, and this was the recommended book. I love it. I highly recommend that if you desire a copy and want to read it, I'm going to hand it to Bea right now because she's really interested in it, that you see Cynthia Zink in the Life Abundant bookstore, and she will order that for you. So it's fabulous. I'm also doing The Money Keys by Karen Russo, another fabulous wealth of information, and then The Millionaires of Genesis. And what I have discovered in all the prosperity books that I read, it's about consciousness. It really is about consciousness. And it's not to say that people don't struggle in the world, because that happens. That can happen to any one of us at any time. And yet the focus, instead of being on what we need or why we're struggling, we should really focus on that thing itself that is bigger than us. And so I want to give you a living example of how that works. So I have been, we start here in the morning. We sing, woke up this morning with my mind on spirit. How many days of the week do you actually consciously do that? Really, other than Sundays when you sing it, how often do you go, oh, wow, yeah, okay. Me and it, we got it going on. I'm conscious of it. I surrender to it. Don't you find that comical? Free will, that's why we're here, free will. And if you want your life to be perfect or your life to go easy, what's the one thing you need to do? Surrender. Surrender, and that's free will. Not that you're necessarily giving up who you are, but quit pushing. Quit grasping and surrender. Karen Williams told me an amazing story that I had no idea, that when salmon are swimming upstream, they turn over on their backs, which is not how fish swim, because their bellies are smooth and the current will push them up the stream instead of them forcing their way up. Nature teaching us how to be in the world. Nature. I have never seen or heard a tree outside go, that tree is so much skinnier than I am. I want to be more like that tree. Oh, that plant has red flowers and I've got orange flowers, so I must be wrong. Because, somebody's overlooking at the red flowers. That's a human thing. And we need to go back to that place in nature that says God is source. God is source. It's what we teach here, and sometimes because we're new thought, we kind of meander around it, because God forbid if we offend anybody. The truth of the matter is, in what I believe is, there's something bigger than us. So let's call it quantum soup, because that's the new hip thing to call it, I think. Let's call it quantum soup, because we can all imagine soup. It's infinite. It's filled with everything that we desire. And no matter how much we eat of that quantum soup, guess what? Supply never depletes, ever. Always there. We have a spoon that lives right inside of us. And yet we're so smart. And we are so wise as humans. We forget all we have to do is wake up in the morning, every single morning, and just say, thank you, God, and watch your life change. So the story is, I had a board meeting at my house on Friday. And you're like, what does that have to do with God? I'm getting there. I had a board meeting at my house on Friday, and I have a dishwasher that came with the house. I believe it probably came there when the house was built, except I don't think they had dishwashers then. But it's old, and so to make sure the dishes are clean, I have to wash them before I put them in the dishwasher. I don't like this. I really like technology. I like the fact that I can kind of rinse a dish, put it in the dishwasher, and it comes out sparkly and clean. And I made a complaint to the people there, and I was reminded by Courtney goes, "We don't have a dishwasher," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to quit complaining." And then this morning, it turns out that Bernie and Courtney have a dishwasher in its original packaging that they can't use, and they gave it to me. Yeah. Yeah. And we forget, because sometimes we think our good is attached to finances, and good shows up there too. I will tell you, in 2007, when I moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico, my husband and I lost everything. Absolutely everything, except each other, our 2 dogs, and what we could pack into a car. And yet from that day forward, how that worked in my life is I released that thought within me that was so deeply seated I didn't even know it was there, that I'm not good enough. That I'm not good enough, and someday something better, a new shinier car, in this respect, a new shinier woman, was going to come along and steal my husband's affections. And I had to lose everything so I could hear him tell me day in and day out, "I don't care if we never have anything again in life, as long as I have you." Day in and day out, he told me that until I believed him. That's the gift of God, and that's when you realize it's not about material things. And not that I am not extreme, because I got another gift this morning, and it was financial, and it was amazing and unexpected. Both gifts brought me to tears, because what I realized is I've shifted my consciousness, because I think that what happens in church when we're here and we start to take all the classes, or we've taken all the classes, and we're practitioners and we're ministers, we think we know it all. Trust me, we do. You will, Bernie, trust me. You're still in school. You'll get to that. I don't know that you know it all, you get lazy. You start to get lazy. You forget how hungry you were when you first walked into this center to change your life. You forgot that feeling of, I will do anything to change my life. Anything to change my life, because life starts to get good and then we forget. I am one of those people. I had not been waking up every single morning and saying, "Thank you, God." How hard is that? Does it take a lot of time? Thank you, God. Every single morning I have started to say that again, because it's important to me to understand that that spoon inside of me really wants to feed me. And I don't need to tell it, "No, I want potatoes this time." So how does it work? With our prayer, with our intention. However, remember, David Bruner is an amazing speaker, and he said one day at a Silomar, when you pray and something shows up on your doorstep, don't you dare say to the universe, "Excuse me, that's wrong." What you say is, "Whoops, I need to be a little bit clearer about my intention." Because the universe is always saying yes. So think about those things that you say about yourself that are negative, or that you say about other people that are negative. You know, if you don't want to say, "Woke up this morning with my mind on spirit," sing "Use Me." Just a verse every morning, or say it out loud. Use me. Oh God, today, use me. I'm here. I'm available. And watch the magic happen, or the miracles, because they're happening in your life all the time. They really are. They could be little, they could be big. Miracles happen all the time around us. And we get so busy we forget. So 3 practices that I encourage you to release. If you want to really experience this divinity that is the truth of who you are, if you really want to experience what it's like to say yes to God, because if I say yes, what does the universe say back? Yes. So judgment. Are you willing to be willing, because it's going to be a practice, to let go of judgment? And there's some judgment you're like, oh yeah, I don't do that. I'm good with that. And yet it's those little ones that sneak up on you that you just think, oh, did I just think that about that person? Wow. You know, and so the first thought, much like the no complaint bracelet, the first thought is to stop saying it out loud. Because what happens is when you quit giving it vibrational voice, it will start to slip away and you'll start thinking it less and less. So we all have judgments. When I took a psychology class, they said, you're constantly filing things in your brain. Information is coming at you so fast, you have to put it somewhere. That's okay. That's how our brain works. It doesn't mean we have to give voice to it. It doesn't mean that, and I have shared this with you before, I am not the fashion police. I used to think I was. You're like, seriously? And so now I'm like, that's an interesting outfit. I would never wear it. God bless her or him. Because it would be boring if everybody dressed the same, wouldn't it? It would be boring. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, because we are different. And we get to experience different. So the universe gets to experience itself differently. It could have went, oh, ho, hum, we're just going to all be the same. And yet in its brilliance, we were created. Unique, individual of itself. No two of us are exactly the same. Anywhere on this planet, think about that. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just like snowflakes. So judgments, can you stop judging? And big one, start with yourself. Do yourself a favor. Start with yourself. Quit judging yourself. Know that you are perfect, whole, and complete exactly as you are. Bald head, 20 pounds overweight. Doesn't matter. You're perfect. You are perfect exactly as you are. If you want to change that, that's great. And in the process, don't beat yourself up for who you are right now. Because that confuses the universe. If I keep telling the universe, oh, I hate this body, the universe is going to go, okay. Obviously, she wants to continue doing that. She keeps expressing it out loud. Do you know how hard that was for me to get? Still, people who know me well will go, you've got that? Really, Gayle? Let's be honest. So the next thing, so practicing letting go of your judgment of yourself and others. Move out of lack consciousness. It is an abundant universe. Do you have absolutely all the money, all the things that you desire? Probably not. However, if you keep focusing on what you need and what you don't have, again, what does the universe say? Yes. Obviously, she doesn't want that in her life. She keeps telling me over and over again. So what if you changed lack consciousness to abundance consciousness? What if you stepped outside every single day and just took a moment to breathe in the magnificence that's been created around you? Does anybody live anywhere where there's not magnificence around them? Yeah, see? No matter where you are, even on the freeway, look at all the different colors of the cars, all the different people driving them. Don't pass me, I swear to God. No. Just, it is amazing how abundant the world is. And if you want to feel rich sometime, stand out there and remember. Bill Gates, or the guy from Amazon, whoever he is now that he's the richest person in the world, neither one of them can look at what you're looking at and experience anything more abundant than you can. Neither one of them, with all of their money. Nature is priceless to each and every one of us, and we forget that. It's one of God's gifts to each one of us, and it's free. Unless you're in a national park. It's free. I just had to throw that in there, sorry. And most of it's free. We can look out the window right there. It's free. And so just, you know, if you were at our house, that maple tree outside of our window, I literally, every time I drive up, I just say, that is an amazing tree. It's red now. I don't remember if it was red when you were there. It is bright red right now. It is gorgeous. Mount Rainier, when it's out, do you do what Karen and I do? We go, oh my God, the mountain. Like we'd never seen it before. Because that's how kids relate to the world, and we forget that as adults. They're not charging us to look at it. Nobody can ever take that away from us. So moving out of lack consciousness. And then how many of you hold resentment? Oh, okay, I was going to say, am I truly the only one in the room that has resentments? Ooh, bad Gayle. So resentments, releasing your resentments. And I gave a gratitude today about releasing resentments. You know, for whatever reason, my sister and I had not had contact with each other. And I am sure we both had stories of why that was so. And what I realized when I had an opportunity the first time to see her was, okay, you need to practice what you know works. You need to quit holding her hostage into how you think she's going to show up and be. Because if you hold her hostage in that, you haven't given her room to be different. And so I did that. And we took the first step. And then yesterday, I had a 2-hour lunch with my sister that was fabulous. And it reminded me how much I really love her. And that never would have happened if I'd held on to my resentments. Never. Because it's not about her. It's about me. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. And so that's probably the biggest thing, because remember, the divine, when it pours down on us, it's not separating. Okay, she's got the physical going, she's got the spiritual going, she's got the financial going. Her emotional's a little crazy over here. It's one big hose. And if it's blocked somewhere, you're not getting all the good that you can in your life. And you are the only person on the planet that can unblock your hose. I can tell you how I unblocked mine. We can teach classes here on how to unblock it. And yet the work, I will never do the work for you. And neither will anybody else. Because if they do it for you, I promise, all you've taken it is a slight little detour, and you will end up right back on that same road. The work is yours to do. And that's another brilliance, in my opinion, of the divine. Because if we really desire something so much in our life, then all we really have to do is surrender and say yes to God. Use me. And that was a huge aha for me just recently. Just recently. So we're all in this process. We're like onions. You just peel back one layer and it's like, oh, yay, there's another layer there. Whoopee. And yet, I swear, I wouldn't change this journey for anything. I promise you, it is worth every peel. It is worth every tear. And it is worth realizing how the universe is constantly and always, forever and ever, saying yes to every single one of us. So look at your life and think, oh, what have I been saying to the universe? What have I been saying to the universe that has shown up in my life? So let's just breathe that in and pray. So standing right here, right now, on this holy ground, this sacred space that we call Genesis, how wonderful it is to feel that vibrational presence within me that I choose to call God, that can be called anything our heart desires. To know that we are one with that we are one with each other, that we are connected, because we're all energy and we're all swimming in this quantum soup of the divine. How fabulous to be part of that, to know that, to feel that, to breathe that in and just say yes. And so in speaking my word today, what I know to be true is those songs we sing as a community. I woke up this morning with my mind on spirit. Use me, oh God, use me. Those become our mantra. That we remind each other gently every single day. God is saying yes to us all the time. All we have to do is remember God is source and our consciousness of it is supply. And so I live in that state of constant wonder and awe and delight at knowing the truth of who I am and the truth of who you all are. God in form, here to surrender to that which is true. And so I just say thank you, God. Thank you for this day, for this community, for this another peel of the onion being released. I let go. I turn it over into the law, knowing that as it is spoken, it is done. God, the universe has said yes. Ascended masters and angels are delighting in the revelation that each one of us feels that shift within. So I just let go as I let God. And together we say, so it is.